What's going on, guys? Chad from Caldwell Painting here. And guys, normally these videos are fun and exciting, but today I have something very serious to talk about. A pandemic that's sweeping this nation, and that is color remorse. Guys, have you ever picked a color for a room, for the exterior of your home, and you looked at it, you saw it, man, this is gonna look great in this room. It's gonna look great on the house. It's gonna transform it. You paint it on, you're feeling great about it. A week later, you say, I hate it. It doesn't look like it was supposed to look. It's just all wrong. Makes my house or this room just not look good. Guys, that's extremely easy to do, all right? And picking a paint color, period, not easy. I mean, guys, this is just some off-whites. And then you've got all of these colors, and all of these colors, and another fan deck, and this is just Benjamin Moore, and this isn't even all their colors. So picking a color can be extremely stressful. So how can we cut down some of the stress, and how can we ensure we're getting a good color for our home? Well, there's a few different ways we can go about it. So one thing you need to understand is that when you see these colors on these chips here, this is not how the color is actually going to be represented. It's a good reference point for about what the color is going to look like. But when you actually paint it on your wall or on your house, it's going to look a little different than this. These are Xeroxed on. They're not painted on with the actual product that you're going to use. So it's going to look a little different. And you say, well, how do I know exactly how it's going to look? Well, there's a couple different ways you can go about this. So there's companies out there that make a peel and stick paint that you just peel it off, you stick it on the wall, and it's supposed to represent the true color. And it's a little bit closer than these, but it's still not quite there, okay? It's still like on a plasticky sheet, so it's very difficult to tell. Well, most companies, like your Sherwin-Williams and Benjamin Moore, they sell samples. So you could always go get a sample of the product, paint it on a small section of the wall, live with it for a week, and see if that's gonna be the color that you want. Now, I think the best way about going about this is having a color consult. So here at Caldwell Painting, we have a full-time color consult on our staff. And you're thinking, well, I don't really need anyone to pick a color. I know what colors look like. And that's fair. You know, most of us can perceive color. But what people don't understand is colors react differently together. So for example, you're painting your house white. And you think, well, I just want a stark white. I just want a really bright white. Well, first of all, there's a million different stark whites, bright whites. But what people don't realize is that white draws from all the other colors around. So let's say you paint your house white and your neighbor already had their house painted white. Well, what can happen is our eyes catch the surrounding colors and bring it into that white. So we've seen it before where somebody has painted their house white, they chose the white they wanted, and it turned out looking yellow because of everything else around the house, because of the foliage, because of the trim color, because of the house next to it, maybe the brick driveway they had. Whatever it may be causes that stark white to look yellow. And that can happen with a ton of other colors, right? They all have different colors. They're made up of different colors, blues and greens and yellows, to create the color that you're looking for. Even the whites have some colorants in them. So those colors can really pop through if given the right lighting and given the right surroundings. And you're saying, well, Chad, how do I know that? How do I know what's going to pop out and what's... Honestly, you don't. That's why you need a color consult, someone that studied this, someone that understands it at a different level. Because things like even the product, even the sheen can affect how the color turns out. And you're not going to know that. Most of your painters don't even know that. I'm not great at it. I can talk to you about products all day long. I can give you a really great estimate, and I can produce the job. But when it comes to colors, I'm going to Fallon. Fallon, I don't know what I'm doing here either. What do you think's best? So you need to have a color consult that you can reference. Now, like I said, we have a full-time color consult here, and guys, she does work virtually. So even if you're in New Hampshire or Texas or whatever, and you're about to paint your house, your largest investment, it's worth having someone to talk to. It's worth having someone that can walk through this with you, show you different options. Even your furniture, your flooring, things like that are going to affect the wall color. And I would hate to see anybody else in this country live with color remorse, especially at the price point some of these paints are at, or the price point of the job. If you're painting your full exterior of your home, that's not a cheap process. You don't want to have to step back and do it again in a couple of months because you hate the color. So it's always worth getting that advice. And guys, sometimes that advice is going to cost a little bit. But you got to think, this is your biggest investment. You're making a huge change to your house, right? If you were going to redesign your kitchen, if you were going to redesign your bathroom, most people are going to talk to an interior designer. They're going to figure out, hey, what can I do here? How do I optimize the space? What's going to look good in here? Is that going to look silly in here? Guys, paint's no different. It changes the look of your home. And if you're doing a big old paint job, if you're painting one room and you want to take the risk, absolutely. What are you at, a gallon of paint? But if you're hiring someone and you want to ensure that the whole house, the whole exterior, the whole interior, whatever it may be, is going to look the way that you envision it looking, get you a color consult. I've seen it before where Fallon has picked colors and I'm looking at the colors and I'm like, I don't know if that's going to look good, because I'm just looking at it here. But she's able to visualize it on the house in a way that I cannot. And then it gets painted, and guys, it is incredible. Majority of the homes that are on our Instagram, website, Facebook, all the things that you see, majority of those Fallon chose the colors on. And again, some of it, you look at the paint here and you're like, no, there's no way the house is gonna look too dark, or it's gonna be way too bright. And it never is, because she understands how those colors meld together, how sunlight affects it, how other homes affect it, how green your grass is affects it. There's so many things that can affect it. And you'll notice, guys, that the paint color will change as lighting comes through the house, as you put different furniture in there. So even if you're not gonna use a color consult and you're using a sample, guys, I would suggest even in a room, paint on all four walls, because it's gonna look different on all four walls. Paint a small section there, see how when the sunlight comes in, it affects it. When the sunlight goes away, how it affects it. How the lighting in your room affects it. You have warm lighting, bright lighting, it's gonna affect how that paint color looks. You know, some people have a mix of warm lighting, bright lighting, and they can turn different ones on and off. That's gonna affect how the paint looks. So play with it. Or even what Fallon does is she has boards that she's painted that she uses to demonstrate those colors. And that's also a really good way to do it, because then you can move it around. You can set it in different areas, different times of the day. You can hold it up next to things and see how it's gonna look. Picking a paint color, do your due diligence, okay? Because so many of these colors look really good on the deck, but are not gonna look great on your house. So you need to know what you're looking for, how colors work together. If you're struggling with that now, guys, go to our website, caldwellpainting.com. We have a link there to sign up for a color consultation, and Fallon will be able to help walk you through that. You know, like I said, even if you're out of state, she can do that virtually. And she's done it with some clients before. It's worked out beautifully. So if you're struggling, find you a color consult, preferably Fallon. I'm telling you guys, she's incredible. She's been doing this for a very long time, and I've seen her pull together so many things and make them just look absolutely incredible. This company wouldn't be the company it is without Fallon, without her choices. All the beautiful things you see on Instagram, Fallon's the one picking those colors. So get you a color consult so you ensure that you don't have color remorse. Thanks for joining us today, guys. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. We want to make sure you're getting notifications anytime we make one of these great videos. Thanks for coming out.